Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. I'm sure you've already seen all the news about it, but we're going to talk about it here. Before we do that though, I do have to say, like, Tamashi, bro, where's my boy at? It's been 5 weeks. 5 weeks. December 25th, bro. It's been a month. Where is my fourth form Frieza reveal? At this point, you guys are trolling me like hard, bro. The universe's bottomless power. He even has the title. We've got the silhouette, but we don't got the figure, bro. I'm actually genuinely shocked that this Super Android 13 got a full showcase, full reveal, and pre-order announcement all in less than 72 hours. That's crazy. But before we talk more about this dude, you guys have to check this clip out here. Like, this thing, I wish they would do more promos like this for figures, but take a look first and then we'll talk about them. Absolutely impeccable, bro. Like, this is the type of promo they need to do for every freaking premium Bandai release. Okay, this is just like, it pushes you, it makes you hyped to see the thing, shows you a little bit of the articulation in it because it's the actual real deal. On top of that, you just get to see the quality of the figure in action. But without further ado, let's move on and look at all his details here. So T-Week, this is going to play a factor. So T-Week is happening literally tomorrow at the time of making this video. They do sometimes, at least last year, they had premium Bandai releases return on here. So you never know. Something you may have wanted before and missed out on, you might be able to get it for its retail price here. So check it out. Be there at least when they open the portal if you can, because you might get something good. We'll say that. And of course, there's ongoing little promotions for, like, you get a free base, there's free shipping and all that stuff, depending on what you order, how much you order, yada, yada, yada. Take a look. Anyways, Fusion Android 13 or Super Android 13. He is a worldwide same time delivery release. So usually that means that it's going to release the same time as Japan, or at least a little bit before. Every time you see this on there, like, definitely pay attention to that, because that might play a factor into either whether you order through this portal or through other retailers. Usually I say, if you're gonna want it faster, in this case, order it through Premium Bandai USA. But he is $90. He's about 9,900 yen on Japan websites, or at least, yeah, through the Japan product page, which is about like 60 or so bucks before the shipping. So I mean, it's going to even out probably around the same. But because they have the ongoing promotions right now on Premium Bandai, you're going to get that free shipping, I imagine. So you only have to pay the additional taxes, which probably bring it to like 100, maybe 105 or something. So relatively not too expensive, but still like manageable. He doesn't come with too much, but for this figure of his size and caliber and engineering and style, I mean, I can see why they're charging that much, but the bigger figures usually are around this kind of pricing, which again makes sense for him. Now, look at this thing, bro. I have to say, I think he might be one of the most best seamless figures that they've done so far in this line. Of course, it all hinders on what he looks like in hand at the end of the day. But from these early promos, what he looks like, even in that stop motion clip, he looks like one of the best so far that they've done. And I have to say, it's growing on me, like, more and more. It's not that I don't hate this. I actually am more for it. It's just, it's definitely gotten more better. It looks cleaner. It actually looks like it's pants and it's not flared up on the sides and giving him birthing hips and stuff. It's actually inching closer and more seamlessly to the waist, rather than it just, I don't know, looking all weird. That is definitely a big improvement. And I mean, you've seen it even on the Games Begin Goku. I would say even on the Super Saiyan Gohan as well. It's gotten better, and it will continue to get better as they continue moving it around, trying and seeing what the style is like and whether or not in the future, if it's even worth continuing to do. Yes, the single jointed knees though are here to stay for sure. Kind of surprised that they did it for such a big figure, but I mean, it looks good style wise. Articulation wise, I mean, I know it's a stop motion clip and you can't necessarily gather everything just from that, but it did look pretty decent in terms of like a knee bend, if anything. And here is just a picture, but I imagine you're not going to miss out on the craziest amount of range. Okay. I do think there are better ways that they can attempt to do that knee bend and still keep a good, you know, seamless design. If you've checked out the Kaiju no 8 line, there is one character, I think he's like one of the higher ups or captains or whatever. It's been a while since I watched that show. But he had I'd say he had pretty good styled knees. And they looked a little bit more seamless, and he kept a pretty good amount of range there. Same in fact with like Toji or Geto, however you say his name, bro, from Jujutsu Kaisen. They have a really good knee bend. I'm not necessarily a fan of, well, I'm not 100% a fan of how Toji's looks, but it does look better. And he still gets to keep a lot of his range. It just, I don't know. They have ways they can try it. For now, they seem content with these type of single jointed knees in the Dragon Ball line, and that's kind of the staple here. So until they make that change and choice to swap, it's here to stay. Let's see, accessories wise, he's not getting too much, nor would I have ever expected him to. But 4 faceplates, which, I mean, he's not doing anything too crazy, you know, expression wise in the anime, I mean, or in the movie rather. I think they could have given him a better bonus faceplate for Goku though. Like, this was inevitable, and I really had already had a feeling this was going to happen, but I was hoping it would be that like teeth clenching face he had when he was about to kill Super Android 13. That's what I thought they would include here, but they did not. So it kind of makes me wonder, will they ever include it with another figure or another Goku, or is there going to be some other kits in the future that features it maybe? I don't know. Just something to think about. I wish they would have had it here because it saves us the time of hopefully making one or waiting for another figure with it. But yeah, overall, he looks freaking stellar, dude. There's no denying that they are getting better and better and better in this line. However, who's next after this? Because I personally am a little disappointed that they don't do the regular like introductional forms of like these characters. So Trucker Hat 13, I would have loved to see him in that appearance first before this one, even though like it makes sense, give us the final battle aspect of him. Same for Cooler, same for Metal Cooler, same for Broly, same for who else? Turles. No, what can we do different with Turles, bro? Like nothing. You make it more jacked, I guess, if you want to. But I don't know. That's something I kind of hope to see change at some point, because yes, you could say that they're moving very slow in this aspect of the line. Like the Z movie villains, I feel could have been done like rather quick, but they're taking their sweet old time. Like really sweet old time. I don't even know like when we could think about getting a Janemba at this point, because they trolled us with that freaking Gogeta at New York Comic Con. Not that he's a terrible figure or nothing, but like they know we want an actual new Gogeta, whether it's Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan Blue, or Super Gogeta. They know, and they did that. But anyways, yeah, so let's take a look here. We have options of like Hirudegarn, and I mean, again, they're probably not going to do a Hirudegarn anytime soon. Maybe with Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I don't know, but it's a possibility, but I just don't see it happening anytime soon. Not for a big figure like that, when it seems like they're kind of pulled back from those at the moment. Lord Slug would be a nice one. They would kind of be retreading though, because they've already started moving past that point, which does strike me like odd, because they started with Turles. Well, I mean, they started with Broly technically, but Turles, when they could have done Slug first, they obviously, I just feel, are not going to do Dr. Wheelo or Garlic Jr. Would be nice. I don't really mind not having, I mean, I would want them. I don't mind not having them, but at the same time, like, the more the merrier. Cooler, they've already done both of these appearances, but well, what about his regular fourth form? You know what I mean? Or his regular form that we're used to. I mean, I don't know if it's truly his fourth form or not. That's a big debate. We already talked about Super Android 13, and I mean, at this point, that kind of really leaves, if we're thinking about characters they've never done before that are more likely to be dropped, Bojack Janemba, for sure. I mean, BoJack, if they pair it with the Gohan, it'll be a good release, bro. It will. However, that's a questionable one. Do people like his transform state more than his normal state? Like, I don't know. I feel like people just like BoJack enough for the movie because he brings some other good fits for the other characters in the Z Warriors, like Gohan and the Goku Gi, or Trunks in his ripped jacket or whatever. Like, I think people like that aspect of it more than they care about BoJack personally, but you know, I'll take the L on that if that's false. Janemba, though, that's one I just absolutely, it has to come out at some point. It's just a matter of when, because, you know, any celebration that talks about Gogeta, it's Janemba there too. So it's always the pairing. They never are separate. It's Janemba, Gogeta. Like, whatever they do, Dokkan, Legends, freaking whatever game, whatever promo, they're always together. So at any point that they decide to drop a new, you know, Gogeta, an actual new one, I imagine a Janemba cannot be that far away. In fact, I would bet money that they would reveal a Janemba and Gogeta in the same day, if not at least in the same week, bro. There's no way you can't release one or tease one without the other, relatively close to each other. But that's like, who knows, 5 years down the line at this point with the way they're going. Because if you take a look here and check out Rock Chala's channel, bro, he's got this checklist sheets in case you want to keep track of all your figures. That's where this is from. Look at all these figures, bro. We are still stuck between Namek, Android, and Cell Saga. There's still releases that they could do for the Saiyan Saga alone. That's not even a finished saga either, technically. Because if you're thinking about it, they could retread on that. We are not done here. And they keep bouncing back and forth between GT and Z movie villains, and then they fill in the space with whatever's new, meaning some kind of collab or some new movie or some new web series, you know? Something always happens and it takes up the space. Now with Dragon Ball Super coming back, presumably the movie stuff is going to get pushed back further along with GT, because there's just not enough room in a year for them to drop that much stuff across all of these. And they still have other stuff from Dragon Ball Daima. Like, just think about that. There's too much. And at the same time, they keep teasing stuff and not revealing anything. Frieza, you know. But yeah, there's not too much more I can say about it. I just, at this point, I'm happy for Super Android 13. I just very curious to see like how much further along will we have to wait for the other characters that I think could be done a lot sooner than later, especially if you're thinking about what's technically already done. If they don't want to retread on Broly right this second, skip them at this point. I mean, like, they put out that movie poster or that movie survey or whatever from 2 to 4 years ago at this point, and I really thought Broly had a shot, but it seemed like they just went with the anniversary re-release of Cooler and Broly, and in some way, I guess that counts, right? Regardless, though, we will have to wait and see. The Dragon Ball line clearly is making improvements along the way, and each figure so far, I think, just becomes better than the last. Of course, there's things that could be improved upon. We'll have to see how Android 13 handles, you know, prototype-wise when we see him at events, as well as on display at the Tamashii Nation store, and when he eventually hits our hands. So hopefully it remains consistent. That's my hope. But anyways, I will catch you guys in the next video. That's enough of me talking. Peace.